These are the Asics Novablast 2. Are they a worthy successor to the original? Let's lace them up, hit the streets, and log some first impressions. Today's run was 7.01 miles, an average pace of 8 minutes and 27 seconds per mile, but some of those were faster, some of them were like 6:30 miles, and some of them were slower, closer to like 9:30 miles, because I was wanting to give this shoe, the Asics Novablast 2, a chance to show me what it could do at multiple paces. Now, obviously, a 7-mile run, when we're kind of bouncing all over in the pace, it's not going to give me, a perfect review. It's not going to give me a perfect indication of what a shoe can do. That's why this is just the initial impressions video. After some more time, we'll come back and we'll do a full review of this shoe, I'm sure, because I think we're going to take it the distance. Let's talk specs first. So the Novablast 2 Asics advertises its weight at 9.7 ounces in a size 9. I wear a size 11.5. And I weighed this on the scale at just under 11 ounces. It was like 10 point something ounces. Anyways, we'll just call it 11 ounces for sake of discussion. We have 30 millimeters of stack height in the heel, 22 millimeters of stack height in the forefoot. That's a change from the previous year. Last year was a 10 millimeter drop. This year is only an 8 millimeter drop. What we have returning, though, crucially, is the Flight Blast foam. Sorry, wow, I butchered that. Flight Foam Blast, there we go, midsole. It's, I believe, an EVA blown midsole. And what they do that's unique with this shoe is the geometry of the heel. Let's pull this up. So you see, they craft into the shoe, the way that they mold it, this geometry. And they say that it creates a trampoline-like effect or a bounce back, and I think it's pretty true. They changed it a little bit from the first shoe to the second. You can see here's the design on the original. Here's the design on the number 2. So they do have quite different designs, but I found both of them to be pretty effective. Also, the 2 is running the AHAR Plus, that stands for Asics High Abrasion Rubber. It's the same rubber that was on the Asics 1, and I took the Asics 1 to 406 miles, and there is plenty of life left in this tread. So I have no doubt that this one is also going to have plenty of life. But how is the tread different? So you can see here, especially through kind of the decoupled groove is what this is called, this part right here in the middle. It's molded differently. Here we kind of have this stair step. Here it's more of a uniform transition. And then otherwise it's pretty similar. If you get really close, you can see that the tread pattern is a little different, but Asics says that they've redesigned the rubber, the outsole on this shoe to create even more of a trampoline effect than in the first one. I suspect that it works in conjunction with the redone geometry of the midsole. Sorry about that. Moving into the upper, this is a dual layer jacquard mesh. Jacquard is just kind of a fancy term to say that it's a woven mesh. And, you can see the perforation holes in here versus the first, which was just, they described it as an engineered mesh. Sorry, dog hair everywhere. And I think that this is going to be a lot more breathable. You can see kind of the difference in the upper right there, particularly with all these all these slats. So, you know, I felt it. I took this out. Today's run was 7 miles, but I'm actually 12 miles into this. The first 2 miles were on Monday, and it was cold. And like immediately stepping outside, it honestly felt like there was no upper on this. Now that was in like, I don't know, 10-degree weather, whereas today we were back in the 30s in a reasonable temperature to use this shoe. And the feet didn't get extremely cold. They were fine. They warmed up as the run went on. But I think this is going to be a great shoe in the summer. This shoe is fantastic throughout the summer. The breathability is great. I have to believe that the breathability of this shoe is also going to be spectacular. Another slight difference, I don't know if you'll be able to see it. Let's see. But this has a gusseted tongue, which means it's attached, whereas the original had a free-floating tongue. So I'm a big fan of gusseted tongues. I'm actually a big fan of like the sock liner uppers, like the Nike Epic React. This shoe isn't quite a full sock liner, but it does have a gusseted tongue. I'm a big fan of that. It keeps it in place. And I really also think it kind of gives the lockdown, not just the tongue, but the entire upper, a better lockdown. The other big difference is not a lot. We have a pull tab, right? Some people love them, some people don't, whatever. For me, it's not really one big thing or the other. I forgot to say the weight of this one, the original is advertised at 9.4. This one's advertised at 9.7. So it gained a little bit of weight. And for me, gained, I don't know, almost half an ounce or so. Like from 10.4 ounces on the original to 10.9 ounces on the number 2. But anyways, that's enough of kind of the specs. What did the run feel like? It felt good. It felt really good. I think this shoe is going to easily get me to 400 miles, and it's going to feel good every single step along the way. So I typically have 2 or 3 shoes in the rotation, depending if you want to talk about race shoes. So right now I have actually the OG Nike Vaporfly Next Percent is my racing shoe. I have a pair of those that only have like 35 miles on them, I think. So we're going to get another full marathon out of them before they go into the training rotation. I do one shoe that is like a recovery shoe or an easy day shoe that can pick up the pace, because I often like to do progression runs towards the end of my easy runs. So, you know, we'll get faster as the run goes on. That's what I did today, taking this down to, you know, something like 6:30 for most of the last mile. So I like a shoe that feels nice and plush, supports the foot, good recovery, but can pick up the paces, because I like to finish most of my runs at a higher pace. What's going out of the rotation right now is the Hoka Rincon 2. We'll do the full review on that shoe here in a little bit, but this shoe is sliding back into its place. Also in my current rotation, I have the Saucony Endorphin Speed 2 Run Shield. Fabulous shoe. After this training block, we'll do the full review on it. We're going to take that well past 400 miles. But that's kind of, the speed is more of my fast and long run day shoes, because the foam in there really protects the legs. But anyways, so this shoe felt really, really good underfoot. You saw in some of the videos today, it was kind of like a damp day with some ice in various places. The ice, you know, unless you have like yak tracks or something like that, there's just not a lot that any sort of rubbered outsole is going to do for you on there. But as far as the damp conditions, right? So the street and the sidewalk where the ice had melted and you could get grip, but it was wet, this was phenomenal. I was actually really impressed, because often when it's cold, and it was, you know, mid-30s today with the wind chill in the mid-20s, you know, rubber loses its grip a little bit. It just gets hard, it tightens up, and it doesn't grip real well. So even in these temperatures today, this gripped the wet pavement and the wet concrete sidewalks just spectacularly. I have no issues with grip with this shoe. It's going to be even better when it warms up, and the rubber warms up and just gets even more grippy. You know, I don't know, I stepped in something, it was like, it smelled like latex when I cleaned it off my shoes. So this discoloration, that's not from the factory. All of it was the same color. This blue spot here, today, man, I stepped in something weird in the run. But anyway, let's see. Oh, another big difference on this one is it's got a more structured heel cup. So the first iteration, it had a pretty solid heel cup. It's hard to push in. But this one is even more structured, and you can see it a little bit. See, there's this plate here that wasn't in the first one. The first one, it felt like the structure came from mostly the stitching. This one, they actually included like a little plate. I don't know if you can hear that. But anyway, more structure in the cup. There's also a little bit more padding. Let's see, compare the inside of the heel cup. You can see how thick that is versus this other one. I didn't really have any problems with it. Again, only about 15-ish miles into this shoe. No problems so far, even with the thicker padding. I don't know. I don't really know what else to say about it other than I'm just really excited for this shoe. I know it's towards the end of its life cycle. The 3, if there's a 3, is going to come out, or some sort of successor is going to come out to this shoe, which makes it kind of the right time to get it. But just, I don't know, just extremely excited about it because this shoe is one of my favorite shoes of all time. And look at this colorway. This colorway is just amazing. You know, Asics and a lot of brands do this thing where the initial colorway might be cool, but then they're all kind of like bland and boring, and then they hit you with something that's beautiful, like this thing. I like the white, the all white, the silver, the cool blue. It's a good look, but it's not what I would have designed myself, but it looks good. It gets the job done, I guess. But anyways, yeah, this shoe, I'm sure it's going to go to at least 400 miles. We took the first one to 400 miles. This one, it's just going to do the same thing. It's going to be a real good like value for your money shoe. And you can do anything in it. You can do long runs. The Flight Foam Blast. Did I say that right? I don't think I did. Yeah, I did. The Flight Foam Blast midsole provides enough cushion, enough support to get long runs in. It's snappy enough when you get in. It doesn't bounce back quickly like the P-Bax type foams, like the Endorphin line or the you know, the Nike Super shoes. But it gives, and it kind of I don't want to say slowly, but it in a very like controlled or methodical way returns the energy to you. And combined with the geometry, both in the heel with these shapes and the roll to the front, that give an energy return allows it to get up to faster paces. It's not going to feel as just amazingly snappy, but it gets the job done. So it can protect your legs on long runs. It can get up to speed for you. If you're really a type of person who just like loves to go in one pair of shoes, take them to a bunch of miles and do everything in them, this shoe can absolutely do it for you. If you're someone like me who typically runs a training rotation of 2 shoes, 3 shoes if you include my race shoes, this one is one that can absolutely fill one of those 2 roles for you. And it could really fill either role. It could be your recovery long or easy day shoe, or it could be your up-tempo shoe paired with something else. So kind of be on the lookout for both these. I saw these for like 90 bucks, obviously size and colorway dependent. These are starting to go on sale from time to time and place to place, so you can start to get them pretty cheap. Just overall great shoes. So I think that's kind of all I've got. Kind of a little bit of long-winded, but I think I hit all of the major topics, I think. You know, leave a comment down below if you have any questions about particularly the Novablast 1, because I've put a lot of miles in it, or the Novablast 2. We're going to put a lot of miles in that shoe. And I guess for the question of the day, to facilitate conversation in the comments below, what does your running shoe rotation look like? Again, for me, it's kind of typically 3 shoes. It's a fast tempo shoe, and the way that the shoes are kind of made nowadays, that can also double as like the long run, because they tend to be the ones that have like the P-Bax foam that also protect your legs. And then a second easy day shoe that can go to pace, and then a race day shoe. That's what my rotation looks like. What does yours look like? Some people do 1. Some people do like 3. Some people have like a specific shoe for every type of workout. A tempo, a threshold, a long run, an easy run, all that sort of stuff. What does yours look like? Anyway, thanks for watching all the way to the end. If you like the channel, I'd appreciate it if you subscribed. Leave a comment down below and hit that like button. Thank you so much. I'll talk to you later. Bye.